In this tip, we're going to go over how to add an accountant's login and what data they will be able to access and see in the system. It's really only important for your accountant to see your invoices, payments, and expenses, basically anything relating to financial data specifically, so they can calculate your taxes and your money in, money out, create balance sheet reports, and so on and so forth. So in order for them to do their job, can be helpful to have a separate login for them, but you may not want to have access granted to them for everything in your system. So when your accountant logs in, and I'll show you how to create the login first, I suppose. This is basically their dashboard, but let me show you how to create the login. So first thing, we're going to want to go to Admin, Manage Users, and then that's going to take you to this page, and then we will create a user. We'll go Add User, enter in their information, name, phone, username, give it a username, password that you can send to your accountant. The important part is this here, permissions. So you have a few different permissions, and the one you want is accountant. And then send login details, and then save. That will send them their login details, but you should also copy and paste the username and password so that you can send it to them just in case this lands in spam or something like that. And then once you've set up their accountant user account, they're going to be able to log in, and this is the dashboard that they're going to see, and they can email this report to themselves. And basically what it's going to have is your accounts receivable. It's going to show the total plus before taxes plus the one with taxes to collect. So you have your accounts receivable, then you have your money in and money out. Very rudimentary calculations. So the money in is going to be what you brought in, subtotal plus taxes collected. Money out is going to be your total expenses, subtotal plus the taxes paid. And they'll be able to separate whatever periods they want by using these calendars here. So they can choose the start date, and then they can choose the end date, and they can also just choose this month with this button, or select options will take these dates. Whatever they are viewing is what they will send themselves. So if it has a different time period, they can send that to themselves by email. Now, they will have access to your invoices, payments, expenses, and under reports, they will see an accountant's rundown and staff time clock. So the staff time clock, you'll likely remember, it looks just like your regular time clock, shows things for payroll. So it'll show, vacation days, sick days, total time worked for staff in case your accountant's also handling your payroll. They will also have access to an accountant's rundown, and choosing that shows more of the same, what they saw on the first page, with different options for expenses. So expenses by category, so broken down based on your categories that you've created, and also expenses by vendor, so it'll show the vendors as well. Then moving from there, they will have invoices, payments, and expenses. So invoices, clicking there, they will see a list of all of your invoices, and they'll be able to click into an invoice and view more details should they need it. So they'll be able to view the details about the invoice just like as if they were you. They will also have access to payments. They will be able to see payments that were made, the payment method, the amount, what invoice it corresponds to. This is helpful for them to try and track down things if there's discrepancies. And they will also have access to your expenses. And clicking there, they will see your expenses here, and they can also export those options should you need that done as well. And they can export between different dates as needed. So these are the things that they will have access to within the system. It is very limited because they really only need to see a few things. And then from their dashboard, once again, that's where they will see a quick snapshot of the various things. It's very similar to the accountant's rundown, meaning that it has accounts receivable, money in, money out. They can also send it by email, but it also has the expenses by category and expenses by vendor broken down. So this is very useful information and can save you a lot of time, because one less thing that you have to worry about would be your accounting. And if you have an accountant, you can just get them a login and they'll be able to access this anytime. So they don't even need to bother you anymore, and you can just focus on doing what you love, which is running your business.